Hey, what's going on, family? It's Brother Marlon, and as always, I like to bring you that fresh new music first. Well, I got a hot one. It's from my good friend and brother, Charles Woolfork. It's called I Gotta Get It.
Bro, I mean, this day and age, if God promised it, he said it's already mine, and I sit back and don't get it, it's my fault. If it's a blessing out there for me, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. Yeah. Stay on mine now. I gotta get it. Yeah. I'm gonna shine now. I gotta get it. Hey, gotta get it, yo. Check. Praises up. Blessing down. I wanna see him. Yeah. Falling all around me. I just wanna praise him. I wanna see his glory. I got plenty reasons. Let me tell my story. There was a time I didn't know him. I didn't know him as Savior. I was a dead man walking, tripping with my behavior. Then one day in church it felt so easy, kinda breezy. How his spirit filled me, healed me, gave me life abundantly. I gotta get it. Yeah. I gotta get it. After blessing all that I wanna say, I gotta get it. Won't you let him fall fresh on me? I gotta get it. Life, my blessing, my victory. You said it. You got favor resting on me. You hear my praise. Blessings falling on me. I gotta let them go. I gotta let my praises go. I gotta let them go. I need them blessings to fall. I gotta get it. After blessing all that I wanna see, I gotta get it. Won't you let them fall fresh on me? I gotta get it. Everywhere I go, everywhere I be, I gotta get it now. I'm about to shine now. I gotta get it. After blessing all that I wanna see, I gotta get it. Won't you let them fall fresh on me? I gotta get it. Everywhere I go, everywhere I be, I gotta get it now. Shine now. Haters here, haters there. I don't care though. This ain't the blessing to share. It's mine. That can't stand the way the Lord is blessing me intensively. Making fake Facebook profiles and follow me on IG. I gotta get it. Yeah. I gotta get it. Let the blessings fall down on me. I gotta get it. All this your blessings that I wanna see. I gotta get it. Now. Wanna shine now. Jeez. You say you got favor resting on me. You hear my praise. Blessing falling on me. I gotta let it go. I gotta let my praises go. I gotta let it go. I need them blessings to fall. Yeah. Outro. Let's get it.
All right, family, that's the brand new one from Charles Woolfork. What you think about that one? You like it? All right, let me know in the comments right there. Well, earlier I had a chance to talk and hang out with him in fellowship. We had a great conversation, but you may not know this. I went to school at W&J. It's called Washington Jefferson back in 1992. That's how I got introduced to radio. And on campus, first of all, shout out to my J World family that's out there. We had Pittsburgh family and we had Cleveland, Ohio family. And so, we always had that love relationship where we would go back and forth at each other, give each other the business about whose city was the best. So anytime I talk to anybody from Cleveland, they got to get the business. And Charles Woolfork is not above getting that business. So check out my interview. Some great stuff with my friend, Charles Woolfork. All right, so let's go back to the top. I brought this out because you started the whole thing. You sent to me. I asked this man, "Can you do some drops for me?" Yeah, I told him, he did his thing, sounded good, and then he gonna bring the Browns into my drops. Okay, all right. So from time to time on the show, though, when we get ready to play y'all, I'll say, we're unified on the radio, but when it's game time, we're not unified. And what brings us together is this right here. This is a throwback from back in the day. We had some Pittsburgh and Cleveland unity.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, bruh. You gonna make me cry tears, crocodile tears right now. Wow.
That's my song right there.
Shonda, the former Wallace. Wow. Jesus. Man, and that's Aaron Lindsay on that piano.
That's Aaron Lindsay.
That's Aaron Lindsay, bro. This part right here, Whitney.
When it's all over.
Woo. By the way, that is like a 16-year-old Aaron Lindsay.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing work, man.
Man,
You've done some great work over the years. Talk about those days. Charles Woolfork in those days.
Man, those days were difficult. If you remember the mid-'90s, it was really funny that they did, not funny, but when they did the Hez versus John P. Key thing and all that, I have my opinion on that, and we'll talk about it in a minute. Okay. But our very first engagement in Cleveland, Ohio, was to open for John P. Key.
Wow.
And when we did, we left the engagement with John P. Key on a Friday night at the Cleveland Convention Center. We rode on our bus all night to Indianapolis, and we performed at the GMWA that next afternoon. Dodie Alexander from Pam and Dodie, and done all the Tyler Perry plays and everything. Dodie sang a song called Beauty of Holiness, and we did the song He'll Work It Out. Benson Music Group signed us, and I became label mates with Hezekiah Walker that same day. So it's within a 24, 48 hour time period, we opened for John P. Key and then become label mates with Hez.
Two legends.
It was a different time, man. Very, very different time for worshipers, for choir. Choir music reigned supreme. We were a young group out of Elyria, Ohio. Just a little co-op choir. We put a group of kids together to really teach them job skills.
Okay.
And we held workshops at a local church there. And, man, we walked in one day, and the co-op would always start at 11 o'clock after they had a little breakfast or whatever. So we walk into the sanctuary of the church where we held it, and they was playing church. They had the choir, they had the pastor going, they had the mother's board, they had the deacons, they had everybody in church in place.
Wow.
But the thing that stuck out to me was the choir had a little promise, you know. Okay. And they was up singing a John P. Key song. Never shall forget.
Yes.
Man, rocking it. And I was like, I said, well, wait a minute. So who plays instruments? Nobody played instruments. You know, we had to literally make a band out of singers. And man, in 4 months, we rehearsed, took that trip to GMWA, and were signed by Benson Music Group.
Wow.
So it's when you play that music, it just brings back and that's the second iteration of the choir when people from Pittsburgh and Akron and Detroit and Cincinnati were a part of that group, and we would battle people like Trini Massey, Dietrich Haddon and them. It was, man, this versus stuff been going on for years. People just didn't know it.
Gotcha.
Oh man.
So what's your opinion on what we saw Sunday night with the two legends?
To me, and it started with the Teddy Riley theme.
Yes.
I appreciate, boy, as a child of the 90s, man, I don't save the unsaved. We would leave church and everybody's kids did it. Preacher's kids. It was Pat. You put on either the jazz channel or you put on some 90s R&B, some soft stuff now.
Yep.
And where was you listening to music and missing Babyface and Teddy Riley and the whole New Jack Swing movement? To me, it's like comparing a T-bone and a ribeye.
Right.
It just, there's no comparison. It's texture, flavor, maybe some season. Now, if Becky cooked that ribeye and LaQuisha cooked that ribeye, they're going to come out with different flavor, different seasonings.
Yes, sir.
But you can't say one is a better cut than the other. And it's the same way with Teddy, with Babyface. So many artist impacts, so many songs, so many number one hits from both of them. And it was the same thing with Hez and John. Now, John P. Key, if people remember their history, mid-'80s to mid-'90s was when John P. Key was in his wheelhouse. I mean,
Right.
everything musically that you heard on the radio had a John P. Key influence. Mid-90s, Hezekiah Walker with the color block outfit.
Right. Yep.
With-
Him and Kirk had similar jackets. Remember that?
you were not if you didn't have that color block jacket in the 90s. The group was nothing. By the time I wanted to get one, you couldn't find them nowhere.
Right.
But it's Hezekiah Walker's rise came in that mid 90s and continued on through now modern, both of them. But you can't pick one without having the appreciation for the other. And then
Right.
the internet just grabs stuff and goes crap. Oh, I bet Kirk is better than Fred, or I bet Fred is better than Ty, or I bet Jay Moss is better than we need to stop doing everything the world do. Everything the world. God has not called us to compare the gifts. Appreciate them for what they are, for what they. I've cried off both their music. I've shouted to both their music. You can't say one is better than the other. That it brings about what you saw, which is the element of confusion. And because God is not the author of that, man, I don't want to ascribe to it. I just appreciate people for who they are and what they bring to the table. Pretty simple.
It was very nostalgic going back and hearing a lot of the songs that, and I'll be honest, as a radio programmer, we don't get a chance to reach back to a lot of those. You know what I mean? We kind of get into a mold and a flow, and a lot of those songs slip through the cracks and we don't bring them back. So I was writing down, I was like, oh, I got to bring this. I got to make sure. So this Sunday we're playing some old ones.
There's songs for every season, situationship, problem. When I heard Monique say, "Put it down, crack man, put it."
Yes.
I went right back to where I remember I was washing dishes at the sink when I heard her say that on the radio, and I turned around. I'm like,
she said, "Crack man, what?"
And that was the reaction. I mean, but every song stokes a memory. You remember right where you were when you first heard Never Shall Forget. When you first heard that bam, 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 and the pause, you'd be moving the pause, because you knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
And it's just an appreciation. And I think we need more of that in the gospel music industry. Appreciate people for who they are, what they've done.
Yes, indeed. I said nobody should put anybody up against Kirk or Donald Lawrence. That might be the only one that you might be able to match together because they produced for so many different people.
So we look at Donald Lawrence with the Clark Sisters project.
Oh my goodness.
Project Sisters.
Yes.
If it's a Clark Sisters project, Donald Lawrence got his name on it. I was blessed to work on Karen Clark Sheard's All for One project and did 2 songs. And yours truly, other than Jay Moss and J. Drew Sheard, I am the only other name on that project for production or writing or anything other than Donald Lawrence.
Nice.
So it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to have so many legends. A lot of us, we just didn't have a platform. That was the issue with my choir. When you said talk about the days of old, there wasn't a platform to play contemporary gospel the way we did it. Mm-hmm. They would play the slower stuff. The I Shall Wear a Crown is actually one of the more popular records off of that album. But that up-tempo stuff that Aaron Lindsay did, and man, you've never heard it if you haven't played the album, because they were like, oh, this is too worldly. This is just too contemporary. It don't fit our format. We were one of the choirs that would get the sound system yanked out the wall and the lights. The deacons would go to flicking the light when we was doing our hip hop stuff and moving like the choir you saw in Sister Act and dance moves and choreography. They would tell us, y'all, first of all, y'all ain't saved. Second of all, we ain't paying y'all. Third of all, this concert over, they would flick the light. We thought they was ready to turn up. They was like, no, we turning it off. Y'all got to go.
Wow. Well, let me say this to you. If nobody has said it to you, thank you for doing what you did, because it did help some people like myself. Because, see, I came straight from the club because I was a club DJ. Now, born and raised in church, I'm a church kid. But, you go to a certain point and you think you know better. And I went on my own way. I was out there DJing in the clubs and everything like that, made a, decent name for myself. And then the Lord grabbed me, shook me, and was like, come on over here and sit down. And
Yes, sir.
I gravitated to music like yours and Dietrich Haddon and Kirk Franklin.
Wow.
And it helped transition me, and give me foundation and say, it's okay to still have this style, this genre, because you love it, but to have the right words on it that would speak the heart of where I was really at in my life. So thank you so much for, your work. I appreciate it.
Woo.
It helped
for
keep
all
me.
For all of the butt kickings that we got from all the deacons and pastors and everybody that told us we were doing too much. I appreciate that.
Yes,
because
sir.
we you don't get a lot of people that say, man, I remember when y'all came and did our youth conference, or you came and did that. And all they remember is the lights got turned off and the sound went out. They don't know about the fight that happened behind the scenes. Like, we didn't know y'all was coming in here to do all that hibbity hop stuff. So yeah, it's a blessing, man, to have the longevity and be able to look back and be appreciated. It's a blessing always.
Amen. So you got some new music out,
man. You about to make both dimples pop talking about the new music.
And I hear, you right in the flow of what's going on right now.
Oh man, it's I was told the other day doing an interview out of Texas with a young lady, and she just said, you're a chameleon. You're one of the people that no matter what the stylings are, you can adjust to it, you can fit into it, you can write with it. Man, the new music, the new song is called "Gotta Get It."
Gotta Get It.
And just to give you some background, it's really funny because I was looking at this thing for everybody watching or listening. I was looking at this thing called a VHS tape, and it had it.
Some people are like, "What?
Google it.
What is that?"
Google it. You'll see what I'm talking about. So we were doing. I was looking back at an old church service at Original Glorious Apostolic Church in Elyria. Aaron Lindsay was on the drums. We had all the, a big choir, man. Choir stand packed. And I just remember the old saints, man, and they struck up this song. And the song simply said, "Get up, stop that sitting down. Get up, stop that sitting down. Get up." And it just hit me that was a call to action for their generation. And I was like, wow, man, how would that be interpreted today? And it was so ironic. My youngest son was saying, "Dad, man, it's a new video game coming out that I want to get." And I was like, okay, let's look at them grades and we'll see.
Okay.
Dad, I just got to get it, man. I do anything. I do anything to get, bruh. It rained on me so quick that this is the passion and the pursuit that we need to have for God's presence and for God's blessings. The things that He's already said belong to us. I can't sit back. I can't wait. If I wait, then that means God's going to promote you.
Right.
And I'm going to sit back and watch your blessings happen and manifest rather than participating in my own. And it was just like clockwork, man. When them lyrics started dropping, it was just like, I got to get it. I can't sit back. The get up, stop that sitting down mentality hit me. And, when you write a song in like 22 minutes, and then I had to give it the litmus test. When I played it for my sons, my youngest two sons, one is 9 and the other one's 14 now.
Okay.
I played it and I gauged it with the litmus test, with the face test. So when I dropped the beat, I saw them kind of, okay,
like,
all right.
Hey.
Then I turned the lyrics up and had them listen to the lyrics, and they turned around and did this. When they went, I said, "Yeah, we might have one."
Got him.
We might. That's the ultimate compliment for music, Ooh, yeah. When your 9-year-old be like, I say, "You like it?" He be like, "Yeah, man, that's not trash at all."
Right, that's good.
You fit in a little bit. So
good. So I saw the video. We played it just a little bit ago before we came on. Man, very, very good stuff. Different.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. Young guy named Melvin Thomas out of Cleveland, Ohio. He has a production company called Few Eggs, FEWEGGZ. animations, and he is next level creative, man. When I tell you, I simply gave him the song.
Okay.
And I asked him to run and create a concept video from that song, but I wanted a cartoon. I wanted it something different. I'm not no dummy either. I wanted a lot of kids to look at it. I wanted a lot of kids to catch the beat, catch the rhythm, hear the message, and then visually see it over and over and over again. We are indeed running a race, man, and the race is against the elements and attributes that the devil want to throw at us. Even with this coronavirus, I'm going to exercise wisdom and science because I believe just like God told Israel when he told them, put the blood on the door, stay your butt in the house. I believe in that. I believe in that kind of ministry, know. But we are in a race against fear and doubt and unbelief, and we got to be overcomers. And this is the stuff that I just talked to the creative guy about. And man, when I saw the video, I was in tears. He put my, not the house I live in currently, but a house from years ago. He saw it on my Facebook and he animated the house. He did the living room furniture. He put the clothes on my boys from pictures that he saw.
Wow.
And he implemented my grandmama in there, man. And it was just the blessing of seeing that thing come together with, the premise behind the video is, like lyrically it says, there was a time I didn't know him. I was, like a dead man walking. But then one day in church, it felt so easy, kind of breezy, how Spirit filled me, healed me, gave me life abundantly. So the battery charging, where the levels go up on that. And then when that battery is charged, I instantly jump up out of the church and go help somebody else.
Right.
This is the premise that we got to get back to, I think, musically, spiritually, preaching wise, everything. The gifts have to be like that. Get charged up and go out and get it. Help somebody else achieve what God got for them as well.
Yes, sir. So are you doing a full project? Is this look, like I said, a mixtape?
It is a mixtape. It is a mixtape, believe it or not. 13 songs, all of them urban hip hop, all of them with producers that are young. What I did was put a project together with type beats and producers for those that don't know what that is, like Drake puts a song out, a producer may do, a younger producer may be looking to market his wares, and he'll do a Drake type beat. So a lot of people think you're saying tight when you say
it's a tight.
It's tight, all right. But that's the wave of production now, man, to do your homework, find out who some young guys that are hot and motivated, looking to get on, and you can strike some good production deals, and that was part of it, the economics of it.
Sure.
But I walked into a world that I just was not privy to the knowledge of how phenomenal these young guys are, man. So I got production from people from Japan and Australia, from the UK and from right here in the United States. But every song is a different flavor. Every song is a different message. Every song talks about sometimes, you get a little older, but you still got bars.
Right.
So that's that's basically what happened, man. I was let me do a single, and then that single turned into another one, turned into another one. So the entire project is called Soul Geometry. The basis of that is I just don't believe that anybody's soul should be cookie cutter. If you might be a round peg and I may be a square hole, we don't necessarily fit, but our fabric knitted together is what creates a complete landscape. Your lines are different from mine. Your shapes may be different from mine, but as long as we're connected and unified to give God praise, that tapestry, man, that comes out of it can be food for everybody's soul. So I don't have to be the shape that you are. I don't have to wear ripped jeans and play guitar with a funny hat and the white shirt buttoned all up at the top for worship. That's the worship leader uniform these days. I may not ever dress like that, but that don't mean that I can't worship. I can't be anointed. I can't appreciate God or press into his presence for the blessings that he says belong to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's good stuff. So talk about what you're doing currently. You know what I mean? Well, of course, I know we're indoors, coronavirus. How you and your family holding up during this whole process?
Look, y'all indoors. Years ago, I decided three things. Number one, I didn't want on my own church's economy. I didn't want to be a burden. So when I was the worship pastor with Pastor Vernon at the Word Church, I never took the salary. I never received a check with Pastor Vernon's name on it. I always kept a career. I was the development services director for the city of Akron, Ohio. I've always done housing and construction. When the sequester hit in 2008 and all of those jobs were lost, I had to reinvent myself. So I went back to school, got a doctorate of theology degree, as well as a degree in marketing and organization. So what I'm now doing is I'm an implementation manager for Fortune 500 companies all over the world. So we work for companies like Procter & Gamble and Kellogg and Walmart, but I hire IT professionals and tech professionals for these businesses. So while everybody else has been on hiatus, I've been out in the road, basically as a frontline worker. Yeah, in a lot of these major plants, the food plants, the production for sanitizer and soap. I just came off a project in St. Louis for Procter & Gamble, and man, it's nothing but the blessing of God that kept me healthy. As a tech professional myself, and as an HR professional, you must follow the guidelines and stay safe. I have high blood pressure as well. I'm taking medication. Did not realize that I was immunocompromised because of the lisinopril that I take. So all that time that I'm around all these people, never was sick, never came down with so much as a symptom, and I just believe it's the protection of God. That's what I'm doing these days. My family's holding up well. The boys are anxious to just get outside, and hopefully one day we'll be able to get them out there, but only when it's safe. Man.
Right, only when it's safe. Indeed,
when it's safe. Yes, sir.
All right, so the CD project, I'm so used to saying CD project. Now it's a digital project,
Yes, sir.
Talk about the differences since, when you first guys came out, it was records and tapes, and now we're going digital. Talk about, the things that you're doing differently marketing wise, to get the word out and get the project out there.
Marketing wise, man, it is, like you said, it's a digital world. I literally had people, I've got 6 of my former projects available on CD, and they're just sitting on CD. People do not, it is very, very weird. When we first came out, the record label Benson debated putting vinyl out for us because, vinyl, no, you just need cassettes and CDs. So we had hundreds of cassettes and CDs that we carried around with us. But that format changed, and of course, the cassette went by the wayside, and now to see CDs do the same. The digital marketing format is where it's at. So I put this single out and released the video, and the video itself, man, is doing absolutely phenomenal. It's doing better than the audio of the single. People love it's a visual age, and with that animation being one of the keys. The audio has about 6,800 streams. It's only been out for a couple of weeks. The video is up over 50,000 on its way to viral status.
Wow.
So you just gotta be pliable. You gotta be somebody that's willing to do something different. Digital marketing is where it's at. This whole project that's coming, Soul Geometry, is digital only. You can download it. There's a subscription that I'm going to do for people. That $2.99, $3.99 subscription will enable you to digitally download not only the new project, all the videos, interview content, give you codes to get merchandise, T-shirts. When we get back to doing concerts, concert tickets, and things of that nature. The digital age that drives us right now has to be kind of capitalized on and maximized in the best way. I haven't brought myself to do a in-house kind of video concert yet, and hopefully I don't have to. Hopefully it opens up, because the interaction when you worship and you're right in the presence of God with like-minded believers, people that are seeking for His presence, looking for God to do great things for them. That's the real element of gospel music. That's where I want to bring things back to. But while we're doing digital, you might as well take it to the full help, man. The video has been amazes me to see the numbers go up and up and up and up. And I'm like, people are really, really watching this thing over and over and over. And it's a blessing.
Amen. Amen. Sorry about that. We got Corona kids.
No. You didn't see it. I'm waving. Mine keeps sneaking out the room like,
okay.
Still on that interview. And I'm off camera. My arm is like, get back in there.
But
We've both been holding together.
It's so funny now. It's acceptable, like, because everybody has the same situation going on, so we understand. So if this was normal times, they'd be like, "Why has he got his kids in the background?"
That's so unprofessional. That's why I see he ain't out on the circuit no more, because he can't keep his kids out the camera. No, the NFL draft was phenomenal, man. To see the interaction with the families, and I think they should do it that way every year.
That's what everybody said.
That format. I loved it. And it was so much more personal.
And even in what we're doing right now, like how we're doing an interview like this, you know what I mean? There are so many things that have opened up. And I've been saying this to my family. I said, we've got to really look to God, to see what he's doing in this season, not just be like, oh, we're stuck in the house. No, there's some things that we need to grab hold of. We need to start working on and develop even further. And so that's what we're doing.
Man,
I didn't like being on camera. I didn't.
Well, as I said, you have the face that can be, so enjoy it. Enjoy. There's a whole lot of people that need to keep the screen completely dark when we're doing it. Audio only, and I ain't looking at nobody, ain't saying no names, but y'all know who you are. You got a face for radio. Don't be mad at me. So, but I think the blessing of it, man, there's sanctity in the house. There's safety and security in the house.
Yes.
This is an opportunity for you to make your house a home again. What better way to return to the grassroots movement of Christianity than to reclaim your house as the priest, the provider, the protector, the prayer warrior of your house. Gather your kids for a Bible study. No, we ain't watching SpongeBob today. We're going to talk about Shadrach, Meshach, and a bad Negro.
Bad Negro, and, yes, sir.
And these stories that you can tell. And why Brother Kobe, the only one preaching, like heaven gonna fall straight down on his head.
Right.
You ought to see more preachers. There's a lot of people. The problem, and I said this before, the other weekend kind of got in trouble, but I don't care. Your trouble don't last always, so it don't really faze me. But I said a lot of preachers are going to suffer because they cannot perform unless they're in front of a crowd of people. Wow. I didn't stutter. I said exactly what I said, because your ministry is only relevant if you're prophesying or if you're performing, jumping and emotionalizing. It ought to give you an opportunity to get right back in the face of God, examine why it is in the first place you picked up the mantle and accepted the call, and then set a new foundation for your ministry for what our new normal or new abnormal is about to be. Yes, you got to be digital. You have to learn to preach over the internet, because they may not open churches for months yet.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of people whose churches and ministries will be wiped away because they were unable to adjust. So, man, it is a new and exciting, scary time, but not fearful. Scary as far as reverential, how we need to understand. But do you understand that every time God wanted his just due and his attention, something like this befell on his people? Every time. I was in my word the other day, and when we get out of pocket, God got a way of refocusing
getting us back in.
And,
yes, sir.
And that's exactly what I think this thing is.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
God ain't gonna send no corona. God sent a flood. Then what? I don't know what Bible you read, man. God is jealous. God is jealous as well as just. And if he ain't getting what he feel he deserved, credit-wise, props-wise, oh, it's all you? Well, let me show you how feeble you are and how mighty I am. I don't think purposely God would send pestilence, but God would allow this so that our focus is not on that thing, but it's returned back to him, to the true and living God, the only healer, the only redeemer, the only one that can take corona and send her butt back where she came from. So, you see, I'm actively right in the middle of an interview, right? I get it, bro, but I'm on an interview. I get it. So please, thank you. Take your rest in the room. Thank you so much. That's my youngest son, Chase.
That's all good.
When they dance in the video, the one on the right hand side.
That's him. Okay.
Say hi to the people, man. You bringing me a snack.
Hey, man. How you doing?
All right. I'm going. Take your butt. Yeah, go on now. Go on. We're doing the interview. We're wrapping it up. Man, these kids, Corona kids.
My youngest is in it. That was him that screamed out. He in there watching cartoons.
Man, he was going to get in this video. He ain't slick. He was going to get...
Yes, sir.
All his friends that you did a video. They've been in both the videos. They were in they were in 2 years. So they were in the Outpour video last year.
Yes, sir.
And now in the animated video. So it's a blessing, man.
Good stuff, man. Well, it's great to talk to you, catch up with you, man. And we're going to get together real soon. When you doing the next concert? When you doing something again?
Man, as soon as they let us outside, I'm trying to line. I'm like everybody else. When they line us up and we can go, I'm going. Got to come back to Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah.
One of my projects may be for Mission Barbecue, which is out that way.
Yes,
so
sir.
if I get on that project, you're gonna hear from me real soon.
We'll
that may happen in the next couple weeks. So
we'll come over there and have a quick bite and get together.
Oh, yes, sir.
Then we'll get you in concert somewhere in one of the churches around here.
Oh, man.
We'll get the Cleveland crew to come on down, and we'll come over there and just worship and fellowship together.
Absolutely, we're gonna have our new jerseys on too.
Oh yeah.
You thought I was going to let this interview go without another Brown Steelers reference, man? No, man.
I'll be calling you if we win it. If we win it. If we not, I'm like.
That's the only time I hear from that 412 area code pop up in my phone. So after the whole Myles Garrett thing, man, my phone lit up.
Yeah.
You know y'all finished, right? You know y'all season over with, right? I couldn't do nothing. I was like, Lord have mercy. He need the patience of Job, man.
And unfortunately, it affected both of us because Mason was not the same after that. I think that he was all messed up. So
did you point to your head like his head wasn't on straight? Is that what you said? You did that. I didn't do that. You did.
You wasn't supposed to point that out.
It's just that's how we felt. The result of that helmet to the head, that's how y'all made us feel for about a good 15 years.
Right.
So yeah, it's time for it to come back. Time.
Yes, sir.
Man, always a pleasure. Thank you for what you do for us as an artist, man. Especially people that kind of, you fade into the ether a little bit. You're not the common household name. Thank you for the platform, man, because a lot of folk wouldn't even talk to an artist unless you were in that top 10, top 15 tier. So man, relationship matters. It's a blessing.
Yes,
and you have a supporter and a friend, man, for life, no matter what jersey you got on.
Always. Yes, sir. We family. We family. Let everybody know how they can connect with you. Social media, digitally, website, all that information.
Social media is easy. It's Soul Food Music with a Q, like Music Soul Food, Music Soul Child, Music Soul Food. So Music Soul Child, SoulFoodMusiq. That's Twitter and Instagram. And on Facebook, it is Charles Lattimore Woolfork. Believe it or not, there's more than one Charles Woolfork out there. I could not believe it. I'm like, your family tore your name up too, huh? So Charles Lattimore Woolfork. And then the YouTube channel is Charles Woolfork. And you can see Gotta Get It. You can see Outpour. You can see I Should Wear a Crown. All of the videos from Charles Woolfork and Covenant, as well as solo stuff, for a good 20, 25 years worth of music, man. So
awesome.
Hook up with me, connect.
Yes, sir. All right, website?
The website is, I'm using that YouTube for the central focus right now. Since the video is going crazy, that's where all the traffic. We want everybody to go to the YouTube and then be guided and directed from there. But it is Charles Woolfork's channel at YouTube. So just if you type my name in, you'll pull up the videos and the history from Bobby Jones to Teen Summit to man, all those old videos from dynamic musicians on the instruments like Aaron Lindsay. We've mentioned him about 3-4 times. Hey, what's up, Aaron? So all that content is there. So
all right. Well, God bless you, man. Love to the family, and hit me up when you come to town.
Absolutely, man. Sure will, man. Same to you. Be safe, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Bless you, sir.
All right. Be blessed.
All right, family. I hope you enjoyed that. Charles Woolfork got a lot of great stuff. Make sure you follow him and get that digital project when it comes out in June. All right. Looking forward to some great interviews coming your way through this new digital platform that we're using. We're streaming and just putting information out everywhere and adding another asset to the repertoire. We've been doing interviews for years, but this is the first time when you get to see them and me and good stuff. So keep it right here. Follow me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, at Brother Marlon. On YouTube, it's MARTMAR221, Marty Mar 221. All right. Have yourself a great rest of your day, and we'll come back again with another great interview and more great inspiration, laughter, and praise with yours truly, Brother Marlon.
We praise the Brother Marlon.
I wait on you and just to be uplifted and dance around this room.
I praise with Brother Marlon. I really enjoy you. You brought the Christian radio back to life.
Prepare for worship in a whole new way with Brother Marlon on 107.3 The Beat.